Okay, sorry, the car's a little bit dirty. Was out doing all kinds of wiring, trying to figure out what was going on with my signal switch, universal signal switch right here to allow the signals to work with hazards. And this is the LED indicators right here for left and right. And also the wiring I organized on the bottom, besides that tweeter you see. That's next. All this right here is all for either the push button start, so that way this terminal block doesn't come loose. You also have the brake light switch in and out. This is the 12 volt power going to the brake light switch and the coming out all the way up to the signal switch to indicate the brake lights. You also have the fog lights that I wired up right here, gray. And you got the left front, right front, left rear, right rear. And also the 12 volt with a 10 amp fuse going to the ignition, to the flasher, sorry. To the flasher for the hazards, you got your 12 volts coming in, which is the red. The black is the out. And then you have the load going towards the light is the blue wire. All organized so it's out of the way. Trying to make it look good in here. Next is the rewiring for the ignition switch and trying to figure out what this toggle is, which I don't know yet. But all these wires go straight directly, I believe, to the ignition. If not, I will get rid of it. But it leads up to this fuse block right here, which the red wire is where I got my 12 volt signal from to get over to the flasher and wherever else I needed 12 volts. This 4 gauge wire is for actually the starter and the alternator, from the alternator to the starter. And the white wire is the excite wire for the alternator, because I swapped it over to a 12 volt instead of having the original 6 volt wires. Also, I put in a Bluetooth stereo so that way I can have some music, which has the 4x6 speakers in the back. And I'm also going to do the 12 volt to 6 volt converter so that way I'm able to utilize my gauges right here and change out the light bulbs. Also, well, besides having to clean up, I have over here where I made and welded and fabricated my own bracket to adjust for the alternator and the 4 gauge wire going to the alternator. The excite wire is the white wire right here, and the 12 volts that goes back to the alternator, and then the ground as well. So now it's a 12 volt, which I got rid of the voltage regulator, which I'm going to cut these wires down, make it look a little bit neat. This is try to avoid the smell of gas coming in. You know about old cars, a lot of the exhaust smell comes in. And then it's just to organizing all these wires so that way they do not, I don't see no color in here as far as the wires are concerned. I started right here, taped it up, cleaned it up. This is for the fog lights. The yellow is for the left front signal, and this is for the right front signal, which I got them to work. Otherwise than that, next will be the horn relay, which I need to swap over to a 12 volt instead of the 6 volt because the horn ended up dying because of this regulator probably died out. So I got to purchase one of those, do an oil change. Otherwise than that, that's about it. Besides cleaning it up, should be able to drive it already again. Had an issue with that signal switch, but now I'm all down. I got to clean it up, but without all that stuff in there, it looks a lot more cleaner underneath. You do not see wires going around like crazy. Some of the wires, of course, like I said, I have to get to rewiring everything else and trying to organize a little bit more my terminal block again, another one, and place it nearby, maybe over here on the bottom as I put the kick panel back on. But I gotta wire that up right there, which is the converter. And otherwise than that, it's a driving, rolling car, music. Everything's Power Glide transmission. Rebuilt recently. Brandon's transmissions in Bakersfield, but here's to show you that the signals work. That's left rear, right rear, hazards, brake lights. As you can hear that squeaking, the OG squeak. Also, we have, show you that the front signals are working. Sorry, the garage is dirty. I still gotta organize. You can hear that flasher going, which is actually nice to have again. Everything burnt up as soon as I went to 12 volts. But you have your indicator lights right here. Other indicator. Also for the hazards. Works perfectly. So next time I'll give you guys an update of what I'm gonna do to it. Just gotta clean it up. Haven't really done much to it besides swap it over to 12 volts. Get the license plate light to work. I gotta get a smaller bulb though. Got the license plate. Oh, it went out. So, just grounding issues that I had with it. But as you can see, it wants to work. Just having a grounding issue. There you go. But otherwise than that, everything else works with the blue dots. So it's kind of purplish when you brake, which is nice to have. It was a very clean car, 1951 Chevy Styline Deluxe. Had it for a little bit over a year. Wife doesn't want to get rid of it. Son doesn't want to get rid of it. Right now it's on jack stand, so it goes a lot lower than this. This is not the height of it. It's on a 2-inch block on the back, and I believe maybe the previous owner used cut the coils or the springs a little bit. It was a beautiful car. It's going to be sanded down and buffed out so I can get it a shine again. Otherwise than that, here you go, guys.